Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237 as I continue with my Vincent Price marathon. And this time I'm going up to 1974 with the Amicus film Madhouse, which also stars Peter Cushing and Robert Corey, along with other people, Adrian Corey, Natasha Pine, Michael Parkinson, Linda Hayden, and Barry Dennen. Who, Barry Dennen, I noticed, I think he only has at least one short scene. He had the role of Watson, the guy that sits in with Jack during his interview on The Shining. So that was really cool to see him. This was directed by Jim Clark, who also directed Midnight Cowboy, Marathon Man, Killing Fields, and Vera Drake. Heard of Midnight Cowboy and Marathon Man. I've never seen him. Adrian Corey, that sounds really familiar. Like, I think she was in some of the Italian films that I've seen. Oh, okay. She played Mrs. Alexander, the writer's wife in Clockwork Orange. Okay, that's Natasha Pine. Also sounds familiar. Okay, I must have just seen these names around because I haven't seen any of these movies. Anyway, so yeah, Madhouse. It was produced by Amicus, also by AIP, or American Institute Productions, I think is what it was called. Yep. Oh, American International Pictures, dumbass. And it came out in '74. It performed kind of disappointingly, had lukewarm reviews. It was considered the end of the horror cycle for AIP, who had done Roger Corman's Edgar Allan Poe cycle. So yeah, this was kind of the nail in the coffin for them. But I actually really like this film, which you're probably going to hear me say for all these Price films. Because, I mean, you have Vincent Price, you have Peter Cushing, who really is only in a few scenes and then at the ending. But I actually really like the story of this one. Vincent Price plays, the last name was Toombs. Paul Toombs, who is a horror actor, like Price himself, who's known for a series of films called Dr. Death, where he dresses like that. He's a killer. And during, I believe it's like a New Year's party at his home in Hollywood some years ago, this one producer of adult films introduces himself and says he's worked with his young, beautiful wife on several films. He overreacts. His wife ends up being killed. And he kind of went down being known for it, although he never got in trouble. He served some time in like mental hospital. He got treatment. His career kind of suffered. And even Price's character, he doesn't even know if he did it or not. So now it's some years later, and Peter Cushing plays this guy named Flay, Herbert Flay, who is an actor turned writer who created Dr. Death, and he's good friends with Price. Robert Corey plays the guy Quayle, who is the porno producer, who sort of has it out for Price. It's some years later, he's been out of acting. Cushing and Quarry's character, they team up and they want to do a Dr. Death series. So they get Price back, and just during the making of it, people are killed seemingly by Dr. Death. And, people are kind of pushing Price. Like, some people think he's responsible for the murder of his wife and these other people. There's a pocket watch that his dead wife gave him in the beginning of the film that got stolen, and it pops up throughout the film. I really like Price's performance in this. You really feel for him. It's, from what I've seen so far, it's a much bigger, angrier performance. He's like a very angry actor. He's kind of fed up with Dr. Death and horror movies, having to deal with younger people. So, you get to hear that great Price voice as he screams at people. Cushing is, of course, Cushing. I mean, for what little he's in the film, he still nails it. Both of them bring a lot of class to their roles. One thing that's really interesting is in the opening credits, it says, with special participation by Boris Karloff and Basil Rathbone, which this came out in 74, but Rathbone passed away in 67, Karloff in 69. And it's not that they had, like, posthumous performances, but there's two occasions where, like, the first occasion, Price is on a sort of this talk show being interviewed about his horror career, and then later on, Robert Quarry's character plays another video, pretty much tributes to him, and they're just shots from previous Price films, like Fall of the House of Usher, The Raven, which has Karloff, Pit the Pendulum, Scream and Scream Again, and The Haunted Palace, and clips from Tales of Terror, which has Basil Rathbone. The death scenes I did like. I mean, we see one girl get a pitchfork through the neck. The young female lead that he has a hard time with, she gets hanged by her hair. Which, when we see the killer actually doing it, he wears a skull mask instead of, this Dr. Death makeup. Because there is a twist at the end, because we're supposed to believe it's Price's character. For whatever reason, he's gone mad or whatever. When he sees the clips of his past films, he kind of gets all messed up. And he has to leave. And even in the beginning, it shows that he fell asleep. So it's like he kind of loses time and then comes to later on. But you find out at the end, yeah, I'm going to say spoilers, it's actually Peter Cushing doing all the killing. Because he created Dr. Death. He wanted to play him, but Price was given the role. And so, kind of pushed Cushing out, stayed as a writer, the producer, or writer. And he always wanted to play Dr. Death. He even killed Price's wife at the beginning of the film, thinking that would get rid of him, but the studio backed him up, and there's a clause saying that if anything happens to Price, then Cushing will get it. You have this one girl who's the public relations, who's the one helping out Price, the one who actually cares for him. Then we see Cushing's character's wife, who, I guess she's disfigured from a car accident, but she's gone totally nuts. Like, she kind of lives like she's in these horror films, like, plays with spiders, acts all fucked up. The ending was kind of strange because Price thinks that he's been doing the killings throughout the whole film, and he suffers a breakdown similar to the beginning of the film. Like, the camera's like down here, we get this big scream. So he sets his house on fire, but he lives, and that's when we see Cushing kind of reveling in what he's done. Then the burnt Price comes up. We get the revelation, then they fight to the death. But then we see Price putting his Dr. Death makeup on, and then he like turns into Peter Cushing, which Peter Cushing does like a Vincent Price impression where he's like, just like that long Vincent Price face. And then we see Cushing eating dinner with his wife. Even though Cushing's body was like fed to her spiders, which we can see they're rubber spiders with the strings. Cheap effects like that don't bother me. I think it still has more charm than CGI. So yeah, I thought that ending was kind of weird. But you know, I thought this was a fun film. Yeah, another, no pun intended, killer performance by Price. Of course, Cushing always nails it. I love the imagery of like the film within the film. It's really like that 60s sort of Corman looking kind of, even this isn't a Corman film, but you know, like how it opens up as we see the Dr. Death film, where it's like this gothic castle and lots of red lighting and him with that makeup. There is one scene where there's it's like a Halloween party where everyone dresses up, and Peter Cushing dresses up like a vampire, which was kind of fan servicey for me because of all the films he did with Christopher Lee and how he played Van Helsing in 3 of the Dracula Hammer films. So yeah, I enjoyed this film. I mean, it's definitely bloodier and different than the other Price films that I've reviewed so far. Of course, when I get into the Corman films, you know, those are going to be bloody and messed up anyway, and lots of fun. You know, I still like House on Haunted Hill the best and Last Man on Earth, but this was a fun movie, and I like the idea of Vincent Price playing a troubled horror actor. Even when they show clips from his past films, they're really films that he's done. It's just real life clips. Yeah, Madhouse 1974. Can definitely recommend it. And I mean, the fact that it has Price and Cushing together, which they've acted together a bunch in quite a few films. This is way better than the Madhouse from 1980 or 81, that shitty slasher film that I did a review for and ranted on. Yeah, this one's way better. Madhouse 1974, good movie. I enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.